Oh, what's up, my peeps? We're doing good. 2 videos in a row. Today, we'll see how long that lasts before I stop again. If I stop again, we don't, paid. We congratulate. Okay, so let's see. I was deciding which video I'm gonna do first, but seeing as how there's gonna be some people that I know right now that's gonna need this video, the topic of what I'm about to say about this video, I decided I'll just do it right now. As always, beginning of every video, I hope you guys are having a great day. If not, and you're having a bad day, just know there's someone out there that's having a worse day than you are. Okay, now let's get into it. Oh, and also, by the way, y'all, be safe, social distance, don't be idiots, because there's people out there that are losing their lives over this thing and not even doing anything, not even risking their own lives and other people's lives, and they're still being affected by this awful thing that's happening right now in the world. Anywho, so don't be idiots. Wear your mask. If you ain't gonna wear your mask, stay away from people. Okay? Don't be doing all that extra stuff. But anyway, here we go. So the thing that I want to talk to you guys about right now is gap year, or the idea of a gap year. So some people know that I am the graduating class of 2020. And if you know, you know. Basically, we had a senior year, but not really. And so, because of, I don't even have to say it. But nothing had happened, my thing was always kindergarten, middle school, high school, college. That's it. There are no breaks. You take care of business. You take care of business now, and then you can take all this other fun and luxurious stuff later. You work, you study, and then at the back end, you're good. If someone would have told me back in high school, middle school, anything, if someone had told me that I would have taken a gap year, or I would be taking a gap year, I wouldn't have believed them at all. I would think that they was full of crap and that they were full of themselves and they need to go on somewhere. Like, there's no place for us to be even friends. Nah. And I will admit that I was someone who I didn't necessarily look down on people that took gap years, but I was someone who was like, why are you taking a gap year? You can travel at any time. Get your work done now. Like, that's just dumb to take a break. Stop doing work. Take a break. And then have to try and force yourself to get back into doing that work for however many years or for whatever you were going to, whether it was college, trade school, like whatever the case may be. Why take that long of a break? You're gonna have to do all that stuff anyway, so you might as well just get it done and over with. So came senior year, the summer after senior year / college, I was getting prepared and getting my mind prepared to go to the University of Northern Iowa to study real estate. That was the whole thing for I don't even know how many years. It was always University of Northern Iowa, and to study real estate and business. That's what it was. Like, no one could tell me differently. I was watching house shows. I'm still a HGTV kind of person, which is basically a TV network about like house stuff and whatever the case may be. So it was always that. It was like no breaks. I had the mind of a robot almost. There was no breaks. And then the time came where my mom was like, sis, we gotta talk about some things. There's a deadly virus going on. People, and mind you, I already knew all this, but she said, but my mom is always one who forces you to put things into perspective even when you don't want to. So she was like, you can still go to college, but Okay, before we even get to that, there was a period of time where, because that was still the plan, even after high school, I was still going to UNI, but like I said, for real estate. Then, over time, I was getting more into like watching, like, I would watch not criminal minds, but like criminal shows, forensic files, First 48, all those kind of different things all the time. And I would be so, without even realizing it, being so fascinated in like the medical aspect of all the things that I was watching. Whenever someone would talk about an autopsy report, I would find that so interesting. Then over time, this is via my mom, because she was actually the one that noticed that. She pulled me aside. She's like, Kyra, you don't want to be a real estate agent or someone in real estate, do you? And I was like, I mean, I still like house. I like the idea of everything, of like how everything works together, designing and things like that. And she said that wasn't the question. She said, do you still want to be a real estate agent? And when she said that, she was basically saying, you don't really want to be one, do you? And it was still in that same like 10-minute time frame. I went through like all kinds of emotions, and then it wasn't until like the last 2 minutes of that 10-minute time frame where I was like, Mom, I actually don't want to do that anymore. Because see, with us Libras and how I am as a person, once we set our mind to something, that's it. You can't really convince us or tell us otherwise. That's what we're doing. And she was like, and I said, she's like, well then what do you want to do? And she already knew in her head what the answer would have been or was going to be. And I was like, I'm really interested in something in the medical field. And she was like, okay, like forensic kind of, like what are we talking about here? And I said, I really want to do something where it involves working with kids. Like I want to be like a pediatric surgeon. And she was like, basically like, wow. She wasn't really wow. I guess she wasn't really surprised about the answer. She knew I wanted to be something that was part of the medical field, but she just didn't know what. Because before he even said that, she was, I don't know, the conversation was kind of like, it's kind of jumbled over, but this is how like I'm telling you guys it. And she was like, you know, it's okay to not, it's okay to dream, but it's also okay to have multiple dreams. It's okay to be like, yeah, that's not my dream anymore, move on. I'm telling you guys this because I had someone in my life to tell me this, and you may not have that. It's okay to change your dreams. It's okay. It's better than having this dream and then realizing down the road that you're only sticking with this dream or idea because you just have it in your head, like you think that you have to fulfill that. So then don't do that. I promise you, don't do it. You don't have to necessarily know what exactly you want to do right then and there. But don't just stick to something because that's what you've been telling people for a good part of your life. Do something you want to do. Do something you love. You get too many people in the world that just stick to doing something because they just decided and that's what was once a dream, so they have to continue to make it a dream now. And then they find themselves being snotty and like terrible to people later in their job. Don't be like that. Do something you love to do without even like really noticing it. I love things in the medical field. Sorry, if I look over here, it's because like I have this great window over here and I get to see people. I'm a people watcher. But anyway, what was I saying? Anyway, so wait, give me a second. Okay, sorry. I wanted to see these people dump ice on this person, but they didn't really do it all the way. They like got him like on the stomach, not even on the head. But anyway, and sorry, I'm the kind of person that like if I see something, I'll say something which is kind of like off topic, so bear with me. But seriously, don't do that. Which leads into the discussion of, like I was saying, gap year. So, I had finally figured out what it was that I actually wanted to do. So I nose itch. I let the school know, I let University of Northern Iowa know that I'm changing my major. This is actually what I want to do now, and all this good jazz. So like I have my roommate, I have the actual dorm room, I have all this good jazz. Fast forward, the roommate actually had decided to go to a school in Minnesota, so she wouldn't have been my roommate anyway, but everything was good or whatever. And that's when Mom had sat me down. She was like, we're gonna have to make some decisions now. And she said, first and foremost, the reason why I'm talking to you about this is because I would not feel good and I cannot make that decision for you about whether or not you should take a gap year or go to school. And she was saying it's up to you. And I said, okay. And she was like, so figure out and so like I'm just such a special person. I was literally making like lists of pros and cons of going to school or taking a gap year, because I really did not want to take a gap year. I really didn't. Like I wanted to kind of fight tooth and nail. And she was like, okay, let me ask you this question. Take away the fact that there is this deadly disease and this deadly virus out there. Okay? I keep saying deadly virus out there. If it was not happening, would you still want to go to that school? And I was like thinking, and I guess she was basically like, she was in her head basically saying like, she's taking too long to answer, let me ask her this, or tell her this. If you are somewhere, or if you're not even there, but if you know you're getting ready to go somewhere, and you're thinking about someplace else, then you don't want to be there. And that in itself was a hard, but such a relieving thought and feeling at the same time. Because, like, you and I had always been the dream. I already had changed one dream, which was being in real estate. And so then it would have been changing another dream, which is going to UNI. And she was like, Kyra, if you are somewhere, anywhere, and you're thinking about someplace else, then that's not where you want to be. And that was the biggest realization I ever had. Because then I was like, yeah, Mom, I don't want to be there. And like I said, I'm not hating on the University of Northern Iowa. I think it's a fantastic school. That was a school that I was actually going to go to. So obviously I must have liked something about the school people. So don't be like, oh, she's just hating. She's talking so bad about the school. Now we shouldn't go to it, because no, that wasn't the case. The thing is I'm a person who loves traveling. I like to see new things. After I've seen something, the only place I haven't felt like that about is New York. I can go to New York a gazillion times and still want to keep going back. But whenever I would think about UNI, I would always think about, okay, I would go to UNI, but now I'm craving and wanting and itching to go someplace else. And it wasn't until my mom said that and put that in, she didn't put it in my head, but it wasn't until she was like, here's the deal, sis, when I was really like, okay, where do I want to be? Now I'll get into a whole situation about, a whole other video about that in itself later. But for the purposes of this video, we're just going to leave it at that. So, I already don't want to be there. And there's this deadly virus. So, then therein lied the decision of taking a gap year. Which wasn't even the decision because I can't be going there anyway. So now it was just like, you can't really, it's almost too late to transfer now. I mean, you can, but therein still lies the decision. Are you going to waste money and go to a school that's basically going to be pretty much online anyway? You're not getting the college experience because college is expensive enough, So I decided to take a gap year. And as I was letting people know and things like that, I was letting one of my good friends, I'm trying not to say certain people's names, and one of the things that this friend had said was, because we used to every so often let each other know or contact each other saying, oh, what's up with you, what's new, how's life? And she was like, I said, oh, I've decided to take a gap year. It's what's best for my health and everything. It's just what I've decided. And she said, oh, okay, don't feel bad or don't be ashamed of taking a gap year. There's nothing wrong with it. And it was like, is this how a lot of people feel? Are they this ignorant in this kind of thinking where there's something wrong with taking a gap year? Let that sit for a second. What is the issue with taking a gap year? I just thought that the response was uncalled for. Maybe I was being a little bit, I don't even want to say sensitive because it's not like I was angry. It was kind of taking it back, whoever said something was wrong with taking a gap year. But that's it. It is what it is. And so I had responded to her saying, oh, I know there's nothing wrong with taking a gap year. It was definitely a decision that I made because it was the better and smarter financial option, among other reasons. And I don't remember what the other stuff was. I don't know. But it was just kind of interesting. Is that what a lot of people think? And if they do, I'm here to tell you right now, taking a gap year was the best gosh darn fudging decision I have made regarding school. And let me tell you why. You seniors in high school are not ready to go from high school to college. Okay? Not at the age and maturity level that you are. Let me say again, y'all, let's say I was with a lot of people who decided to go to college last year. I'm not talking about people that were already in college and was I gotta get this done. I'm sorry, spent too much money on my first and second year of college. Let me just go ahead and get these. I'm talking about incoming freshmen, okay? We are not ready, okay? During the gap year, I got to figure out what I really wanted to do. I knew the general aspect of it, but I didn't really know. I know now, like I said, anything can change. Anything can change. I'm just saying, as of right now, I know that I was able to spend time with my family. I got to really get to know them, because during school and stuff, during your high school, everyone's in and out, in and out. It's like there's 4 people in the house, so 4 passing ships. Like, seriously, you really get to know who your family is, because you guys really don't really know each other. You get to know yourself. And I know it's like, oh God, people saying they get to know themselves, but you really get to know who you are and what you're going to tolerate as an individual. What you tolerate in high school may not be the same thing you're going to tolerate after a year spending time in the real world and then going into college. You might have a different tolerance level. You might have a different BS meter. That's what I'm saying. You get to actually know yourself and what you're able to tolerate. You're a year older. You've had probably some more experiences. Maybe you've traveled. I don't know. But maybe you've worked. But as I'm saying, a gap year is so beneficial to people. Okay? So beneficial. I mean, it really is. It's mind-blowing what you can do and learn and things like that. You can focus on your health. I'm going to be talking about my health and different things in a different video, but you get to really focus on that. You get to harness that. You really get to focus on the things that you didn't really focus on when you were in high school. So, I mean, as an example, I'll give you an example. I have a late birthday. Anyway, so I was older than most of my graduating class anyway because of my late birthday. I obviously aged a year, so I'm now about 2 years, almost 2 years older than my current graduating class. So, but even if I wasn't, you have a different level of maturity in how you carry yourself as opposed to just going straight from high school into college. Let me tell you, when I was moving stuff in and getting stuff ready for my dorm room, I seen these small, I don't want to say that they were like so kiddish and so childish, things like that, but their mind was a little bit immature. Because if you're like me, you already was mature, had more of a mature mind than other people. But either way, the way that they carried themselves was so freshman, so new. So I don't even know what the world really is yet. I mean, I still don't know, but I'm saying they're just so young, mature-wise. So again, I'm not saying, and I'm not hating on people that go straight from college, from high school into college. I'm not hating on people that decide to take a gap year for even more than a year. I'm just saying, please consider all options. Don't just count gap year out because there's this negative stigma on it. Please do your research. See, because like people still go from high school to college with just taking just a bunch of random classes because they don't know what they actually want to do in their life. If you take that, I'm not saying you won't get to college with the major in mind and practicing your major, and then you're in the middle of your major like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm not saying that that's not a possibility also. I'm just saying you might possibly, when you're taking that gap year, you could experience something and be like, I don't actually have to go to college for something that I really love and want to do. I don't have to waste and use up all that money to do something that I want to do that actually doesn't require a college level education. So again, I say all this to say, we need to stop putting such a negative, like just such a stigma on a gap year. There's nothing wrong with taking a gap year. Now, I mean, it's different when you just decide to take the gap year because, you just want to party and blow your parents' money and all that stuff. Like, but that's a different kind of subject. But as far as what I'm talking about here, it is worth taking a gap year. I strongly recommend taking a gap year. It's completely worth it. After watching this video, if you say, Kyra, you're full of so much BS, you need to take some milk of mag to get rid of all that BS that you are throwing out there. Okay? And if you don't know what milk of mag is, it is, well, you can look it up. But anyway, so thank you so much for watching the video. Please stay safe. Don't be idiots. Okay? There are other people in this world besides you. Okay? Don't be idiots. Be mindful of essential workers. I don't care if you are a vaccinated person. I don't care if you are anti-vaxxer. I don't care what the reason is, because even if it's just, if you're, because like people, that's a whole nother video, Kyra, that's a whole nother video, stop it. Just, please, no matter what your situation is, wear a mask, social distance, be mindful of others. If you don't want to wear a mask, then stay away from people, stay indoors. If you're outdoors, don't be standing directly next to a person. Either way, be safe, have a great day. And if you are having a terrible day, please keep in mind that there are people out there that are having worse days than you. Anyway, have a great day. I wish you all the best wishes. Stay safe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.